Confidence and optimism are back in fashion at AFC Bournemouth. Harry Redknapp's team have charged up the league table over recent weeks. And they're in no mood to let Hayes from the Vauxhall Premier Division prevent them having a good cup run. In the first round, Bournemouth beat Gillingham by 2-1. It's difficult to believe that Bournemouth struggled at the start of the season. Harry was out of action, recovering from serious injuries he suffered in a road accident in Italy during the World Cup. But in mid-October, he was back, and since then, Bournemouth haven't lost.
We were fortunate. I came back at a time that coincided with 2 or 3 very important players for us getting fit as well. So I certainly wouldn't want to take all the credit for the good run we've had. I think that, as I say, people like Jerry Payton got fit again. Shaun came back into the side, and we've had more of a settled team since I've been back. So that's where we were very fortunate.
Despite limited finances, Harry's knack of pulling off value-for-money deals have brought 2 high-class players to Dean Court, Andy Jones and Wayne Faraday.
Well, Andy Jones looks like he's going to score goals and striking up a good partnership with Luther. And Wayne Faraday, I think, will give us the pace that we've been missing.
By this time on Saturday, Bournemouth should have beaten Hayes, but Harry is cautious. Hayes did beat Cardiff City in the first round.
On any given day, anybody can beat anybody. It's been proved a million times in every kind of sport. And as I say, we've pulled off upsets here. I remember beating Man United 7 or 8 years ago with a team that was a bunch of free transfer players, and they came down with a team that were cup holders and full of international players, and we beat them 2-0 and beat them comfortably. So Hayes, on the day, they'll raise their game and they'll run until they drop, and they'll put us under all kinds of pressure and give everything they've got. Our attitude's got to be right, and if it is right on the day, then our superior skill should carry us through.
If Bournemouth do get through, the fans would love a third-round match against Liverpool, Arsenal, or even Manchester United.
All League, Bournemouth, managed, of course, by Harry Redknapp, once a West Ham star, who had a most traumatic trip to the World Cup in Italy this year, but who's now very much back in business.
On the south coast, Bournemouth's FA Cup preparations began in earnest on Wednesday. While the Hayes part-timers were putting in a hard day's graft, the Bournemouth players decided they wanted a golf day on the Isle of Purbeck. Bournemouth team manager Harry Redknapp isn't the sort to rock the boat. Nowadays, Harry spends his time worrying less about the title race. He's just glad he's in the human race. Harry lives life to the full. Football's still important to him, but he keeps things in proportion. Football management is precarious, but there are other things in life.
Not bad, matey, not bad. Liked it.
The reason the summer was so unhappy for the Redknapp family was having watched Italy beat Ireland in a quarter-final of the World Cup. On his way back to his hotel, Harry was involved in a serious car accident. While the Italians celebrated the victory in the streets, Harry was pulled from the wreckage of a smash that nearly cost him his life. Harry survived, but his best friend didn't. Bones were broken, but not his sense of humour. As he started to recover in hospital, his first quote was that he was doubtful for Saturday.
Hang on. Oh. What was his name? The $6 million man.
Your life's going along nice and smooth with no problems, and then one day things are going well, and the next day. But I was very, very lucky, and unfortunately Brian Tyler, who was a managing director at the football club, was very closest friend. He wasn't so lucky, and he lost his life, so I realised just how lucky I am to still be here. And when I must be honest, when I laid in hospital in Italy, I used to dream about coming out to play golf at the Isle of Purbeck, so to be out here is lovely for me.
He only returned to work in mid-October, and since then, before today's tie, Bournemouth are unbeaten. He wants his team to play exciting football, a philosophy he learned during 9 years under Ron Greenwood at West Ham.
And Redknapp, 3-0.
And to help him achieve his aims at Bournemouth, he has a chip off the old block in his side. Son Jamie is good in midfield and good on the greens.
Oh, hello.
But before today's tie at Dean Court, everyone was wondering whether Harry Redknapp would get the right line on Hayes.
Where the f*** played that? In that one.
Well, Harry Redknapp will have been given a boost today by the surprise news that Kevin Bond has declared himself fit to play. It was thought that Achilles tendon problems would keep him out. But that's countered by the loss of Wayne Faraday, Bournemouth's new signing from Newcastle United. He made his debut last week, but subsequently picked up a foot injury. Leading scorer this season, who else but Luther Blissett, 11 goals so far. As for Hayes, there are no £1 million players, no star names in their lineup, What we have here are a bunch of non-league battlers who brought the club as far as it's ever been in the FA Cup. Paul Clark, who wears number 7, scored the goal that knocked out Cardiff City in the first round replay. Few flakes of snow drifting in the air at Dean Court as Bournemouth get us underway there in the red and black stripes, playing from left to right. The ball played through from Chris Dixon, the first attack from Hayes. Known by the nickname of the Missioners, hoping today that it won't be Mission Impossible. Gary Keane, it's a great ball too, and they're pouring men forward now. What sort of cross can we get? First corner of the game goes to Hayes. Beautiful ball from Gary Keane, 40 yards left to right. Signed this season for a club record fee from Hendon. Gary Keane, who wears 10 and will take the corner, having created the situation that produced it. Here he is to cross again. Onto the left foot, good shot! Well, that will tell Bournemouth that this is not going to be a pushover. Very good left foot from Gary Keane. They're certainly tight on Blissett. Given away, and Bournemouth can't afford to do that in their own third of the field. Turn was good, shot was too high. Colin Day, the right back, was a goal scorer last Saturday in the league game against Kingstonian, which Hayes won. Here's Keane breaking down the left and back onto his right foot, and he can use it. It's a genuinely two-footed player, Gary Keane. That one just rising too much. Bournemouth have been doing very well since Harry Redknapp came back to take charge. 5 wins and 5 draws. Bond. Blissett. Brooks, back to him again. Shot wasn't good enough. Certainly wasn't as good as the build-up. Chance for the volley was too high. It was well struck. Well, there was a certain amount of inquest going on in the Bournemouth defence, because there was a gap there in the middle and the ball just sat up beautifully for the left foot volley. It beat the crossbar. Morrell set Brooks away. Jones forced to play it back. Redknapp. Bond into the middle. Good turn. It's Matthew Holmes. Header by Teal. Dixon has it taken off his toe by O'Driscoll. Miller. Holmes. Keeper seemed to see that late. Holmes had a sight of goal, swung the left foot. The ball was always just drifting wide. But it is now in these closing stages when tired legs can sometimes also mean tired minds. Clark, and then Walton. Walton again. Good cross and a good catch by Peyton. Walton had time to steady himself there, but he produced a very good cross on the run. Now Lawrence away down the right touchline for Bournemouth. Blissett. As good a move as we've seen from Bournemouth. Luther Blissett launching himself at the cross from George Lawrence, made contact, the ball just outside the post. "14 minutes to go, and you can't help feeling they're going to be a testing 14 minutes for Hayes if they're not to undo all the good work they've done so far. Bournemouth beginning to assume the dominant role in this tie. The substitution has given them a little bit of fresh impetus. Hayes beginning to tire. Lawrence making the break out of the pack. Blissett might just have hit the post, but Hyde wasn't taking any chances. Miller, Bond, Lawrence lost it under his studs. Keane, Lawrence for Bournemouth. Redknapp. Lawrence takes over. Blissett. Lawrence has gone into the middle. This is Blissett. O'Driscoll. Oh, point blank from Hyde. Well, the ball was dropped onto O'Driscoll's head. It was Blissett's cross. Found O'Driscoll, and he was only a couple of feet from the keeper, first with his hand and then with his leg, and Paul Hyde has rescued Hayes again. Bond retrieves. Brooks. Jones now. Blissett, can he winkle it out? And in it goes. Scored by Shaun Brooks. 2.25 minutes left on the watch, and Shaun Brooks breaks the deadlock. So much good defending done by Hayes, but eventually they allowed Luther Blissett to winkle one out, and when he laid it back, Shaun Brooks tucked it into the corner. 1-0. May just spur them to one last surge of effort, but there's so little time. Here's Keane.